Today, our VR23 broadcast is going to give you upfront access to some of our legends of the sport, both on and off the course. We've got master coaches, Dave Scott, Mark Allen, and of course, Lance Watson, all here to coach their athletes and to coach you through a 40K bike workout. And a strength session is basically what that's all about. In addition to today's ride, which is gorgeous, and it's along the coast in Kona there from Waikoloa up to Hawaii, you have to see this. They're going to coach these athletes through a 500-meter swim as well as a 3K run. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you are off. Let's get going today. HOKA IRONMAN VR23 Master Coach Challenge. It's underway. You can see Dan Smith, who is underway there, coached by Lance Watson, and Michael Dwyer, coached by Mark Allen. We've got 3 master coaches that'll be picking apart all the goods and bads today. Probably not so much like I do. I'll usually make someone feel a little bit bad about their outfit or their style.
One of the main things, like in an Ironman in Kona, that you're trying to do is to really push a steady top-end aerobic effort during the bike ride. And I emphasize that aerobic element because, you know, it's so easy to go really too fast in that first 40K of an Ironman, and you know, you get out of the water, you ride through town, there's thousands of people cheering, you end up out on the Queen K, you know, you're really pumped up because this is the Ironman World Championship. As you can see, he actually doesn't have many bubbles on his hand, which is really good. You know, when there's a lot of air around your hand, that means that it's almost like ball bearing.
That was tough and rough. I went out a little too hard and had to slow down to keep pace, but I'd say that it was a good performance.
Dan here, second workout of the day. This is a 3K building run, marathon to a 10K pace. So I'm gonna start at 4:30 pace and get work down to 4 minutes per K. That last K is really tough, so I'm looking forward to laying it down and having a good one.
Well, that sounds tough. So a lot of precision there. 3K's descending. He said he wanted to start at 4:30. Lance, I see 4:10 on my screen there. Is he going out too hot?
He's too fit for his own good, Michael. That's the problem. You know, it's interesting because you know, for anyone who's ever run a marathon, it really is a practice in patience of learning to take that first 5 or even 10K of your marathon as kind of a freebie, just trying to run efficiently and smell the roses a bit because fatigue gradually builds. So in a set like this, where we're taking 3K and we're building by 1K, we're first of all, we're trying to learn perceived effort, an intrinsic sense of what that rhythm feels like, and it should feel easy. You also need to have somewhere to go in this kind of an interval too. So, you know, 3K building by 1K gets pretty intense at the end if you're truly hitting 10K pace at the end.
What about the gym, the standard workouts, traditional squats or deadlifts? Is there a place for that stuff with our triathlon Ironman training?
I think absolutely. I get a lot of athletes that say, I love doing squats, and the problem is that they're not able to activate their gluteals. So they really need to come back. The prerequisite in doing squats, because you're not in hip extension, and if you sit back, you do engage your glutes doing a squat exercise. But a lot of the triathletes that are up on their forefoot will find when they're doing just what looks like a good squat is all lateral quad. So I like, as a prerequisite, to do gluteal specific exercises and then gravitate to a wider stance squat. And there's different types of squats that are very effective in engaging your glutes a little bit more. And that's really the key element on it. So I like a lot of the traditional lifts. I like a lot of the power lifts as well. And the other area that I think a lot of the triathletes are premature on, and I'm a big advocate, is doing plyometrics. You want to make sure that you have really good core strength to begin with, and the same prerequisite that I just mentioned for the squats. So I think plyometric squats have a definite benefit. I would do the squats more as a power type movement, so don't go overly heavy on those. Somewhere between 8 to 15 repetitions, a little bit faster and slightly lighter weight. but they're a real plus, and plyometrics are too. But I'm a big advocate of actually working on the smaller support muscles. When you look at your glute muscles, it's a pretty complex muscle that sits there on that fatty tissue. So I like to do it in all different ranges so that you're really optimizing your glute strength. And that generally affects your core stability and strength as well. And that's always a prerequisite before squats.